And this is what it looks like right after I finish filming. Hey guys, so welcome to today's video. Today I'm just going to be playing with some makeup. I just really wanted to kind of throw a face on, especially because I did pick up the E.L.F. JKissa collaboration palette. I did pick it up at Ulta. Now, using this and seeing what great quality this palette is does make me want to pick up the brush set and the liquid eyeshadow duo. These shades, especially being E.L.F, are so pretty, so pigmented. They blended out pretty well. I did use that CoverGirl eyeshadow primer that is really gripping, and so I did want to try that eyeshadow primer with something a little bit more brighter. So I did do this orange look using the 3 orange shades in the palette. So because I only used 3 shadows from this palette, I do want to play with it a little bit more before I give you my final thoughts on it. But so far, I do like the way that these 3 shadows performed. This shimmery shade does lean a little bit more neutral, so this can work with other different looks. And I also think that this would pair really nicely with any of the other shades in this palette. So the palette did come blank, and it did come with a sticker sheet, and you were able to kind of customize your own palette. So I did add the baby's names to it. So Momo, which is my little pit bull that I have, and Kodak, who is my lab hound. Now, if you are one of those people who likes to follow animals on Instagram, I do have a Instagram account for them. So the Instagram account I have for them is @goodgirlmo. I'll go ahead and put it on the screen, and I'll go ahead and link it down below in the description box. So anything that has to do with dogs, I'm already obsessed. I love my dogs. I love all dogs. So the fact that I got to customize this with my dogs in mind, like, my dogs are my children. I have no actual kids, so they are my children. So definitely the dog aspect really got me in, but the quality of the shadows are amazing. It's E.L.F, so it's affordable. The palette does retail for $20. Alright guys, so if you just want to go ahead and see me play with this makeup, because I did 2 makeup tags back to back, I did want to just kind of do something fun, something more chill, relaxed, and just kind of just play with makeup and play with some products. So if you guys want to go ahead and see the process and the application of the products used to kind of create this look, go ahead and keep on watching. So before I go in with everything, I'm going to go ahead and throw on some lip balm. This is the Laneige Lip Glowy Balm in the, like, not really a shade because these are all pretty much clear, but this is in the scent Grapefruit, and it's my favorite, and I forgot how much I love this until I used it the other day. So I'm just going to throw some of this on. They do have like a slight tint to them, but nothing you really have to be like careful about putting on. And the smell is so nice. I just wished it kind of like stuck around a little longer because the scent does go away within a few minutes. All right, and then for primer, I'm gonna be going into this one from Touch and Soul. This is the No Poreblem primer. And I'm just gonna be taking it on a pump. And we're just going to be smoothing this where we have the most pores, which is everywhere. Right, a little on the forehead, right here on the cheeks, and my chin. So I'm just trying to use up more of my collection, so I am trying to switch out the products that I'm using with each video. Now this is not my ideal primer. It doesn't really do much for my pores, even though it claims to smooth and cover pores. It gives my skin more of like a slippy feel like the Catrice one did in my last video, and honestly my makeup did not last very long because I do have oily skin. It is really hot here, so that slippy feeling doesn't do much for the longevity of my makeup. If you have normal to dry skin, this is gonna be a good product for you because it's gonna be a nice smoothing base where the foundation is gonna have a really nice canvas to kind of lay down. So to go ahead and help the primer for longevity, I'm gonna lay down a little bit of my Maybelline Fit Me Loose powder. I'm just gonna take some from the cap. On with my sponge, I'm gonna press it where I get the most oily. I'm just gonna go ahead and press this in a lowercase T shape. So first I'm just laying it down where I want it, and then I'll go in and blend it in. So for foundation, I'm gonna go ahead and throw on some L'Oreal Age Perfect Radiant Serum Foundation. This does have a really good amount of sunscreen in it. It has SPF 50, which I do like. At the moment, I'm using a separate sunscreen. I have one that has SPF 30 and an extra one that has SPF 70. I'll mix those into my moisturizer to get more, you know, protection. Remember how I was just talking about how oily my skin was? Well, this foundation is nice, dewy, radiant foundation. Not aimed for people with oily skin. So I'm just going ahead and tap this in with my fingers and get it really melted into the skin. And then once I have it mostly blended in, I'm going to go in with my sponge. I'm going to take a little bit more of the foundation and kind of run it where I want a little bit more. I'm just taking a little bit more and just putting that on the spots where I didn't have enough of the foundation. Especially around my nose, I feel like I never get a good blend on my nose. Now that we have that all blended in, I'm gonna go ahead and go in with this concealer by WetnWild. This is one of my favorite concealers ever, and it's less than $5 in the drugstore. The only thing is their shade range isn't exactly the best. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and drag this down. And I've been watching a lot of JKissa videos lately and just rewatching some of her older ones. And she did one on like why your concealer sucks. Just a little bit on this blemish up here, and then just a little bit over here where I have a lot of my acne scarring. So I went ahead and rewatched JKissa's video on her concealer routine, and she does a lot when it comes to her foundation and her concealer. She does a lot of correcting, she does a lot of just layering of different products for different purposes, and when she's done, I swear it looks like she has nothing on her face. She makes it so like flawless. So what I'm gonna do, and what she does, is she lets her concealer sit and dry down just a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. While I'm letting it sit, I'm gonna go ahead and do my brows. For my brows, I'm gonna go ahead and just pencil them in with the LA Girl Shady Slim Brow Pencil. I'm just gonna blend that pencil. Now that I have the pencil blended out, I think what I'm gonna do is blend this out a little bit more because it's a little harsh on top. Right, now that I have that pencil blended out, I'm gonna go ahead and start blending out the concealer. Now her reason for letting the concealer kind of dry down and sit just a little bit is to enhance the coverage and also to help it not move anywhere. So this concealer already has pretty good coverage. I would say it's a good medium, but I definitely think doing this has bumped it up. And I kind of like the finish of it a little bit more because like you don't have to wait for it to sit and set. It sets a lot faster than just blending it out immediately after putting it on. And just to kind of help blend out this right here, I'm gonna use my little brush. The finish of this concealer looks so good. I'm just gonna apply a little bit on the nose. I did do some extractions right before filming this. I have a little bit more redness on my nose than usually. We're gonna go ahead and finish up the brows. I'm gonna go in with my brow powder by the Brow Gal. I got this in like a BoxyCharm so long ago, and it's literally the only brow shade that I really enjoy the tone in my brows, because sometimes I do lean a little too warm. This has just enough warmth where it looks natural and doesn't turn my brows red. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the same WetnWild concealer and put it on a small brush and just clean up around my brows just a little bit. Then I'm gonna go ahead and set my brows with the Milk Makeup Kush Fiber Brow Gel and just lightly go over the hair. I'm trying to get into using brow gels again. I used to use them all of the time. And when I was reorganizing my collection, I found this one and I had totally forgot that I had bought this. And it's pretty good. I like it. Now, it definitely does not have that CoverGirl hold. That CoverGirl hold is ridiculous. I actually went in the pool yesterday, and of course I did makeup. I'm filming this on the day after the 4th of July. We had a couple people over and we all went in the pool. And when I tell you that using the CoverGirl brow gel and the CoverGirl eyeshadow primer, nothing on my eyes like went anywhere. Those products are really good. I'm gonna go ahead and set my under eye with the lighter shade in the Wet n Wild contouring palette. It's not really a palette, there's only 2 shades in here. I'm gonna use the lighter shade to just pop under my under eyes and really get that nice and bright. And these powders are so soft. The bronzer in the corner keeps breaking, so just keep those in mind. I don't mind once they start getting like really low and they start breaking on me. I really don't mind repurchasing them because they are super inexpensive. It's just sad because I can never use a full one before it starts breaking. And if you prefer more of a yellow undertone under your eyes, the caramel toffee palette is really good because it does have like that more of a yellow undertone, and sometimes I do like to mix them. Lately I've just been using the one from Dulce de Leche. And then pretty much anywhere you want a little bit brighter, you can put this powder. And then for the rest of my face, I'm going to be using this Maybelline Superstay Full Coverage Powder Foundation. Now, I love using a powder foundation to finish off my foundation because it's going to not only set, but add a little bit more coverage. And I really do want to try the powder foundation that comes in the line that the foundation is in. This is the Age Perfect line. And I think it was Jessica Braun talking about it, how it's kind of similar to the Makeup Forever Velvet powder foundation. And I have been wanting to try that one for so long. I just haven't gotten around to picking it up because I really don't shop at Sephora very often. But if I can get a cheaper alternative, I'll definitely try that one before I try the other one. And if that one's good, I'll just stick to that one. So I'm going to be going into the darker shade in the Dulce de Leche palette for a little bit of contour. Like I said, they're super soft, so you do have to tap off because you will be picking up a lot of product. Take some on the tip of the brush, and we're going to go right underneath the nose and up the sides. That's just for a really quick, subtle nose contour. Then we're going to take a little bit of this up the temples, but we're not going to bring it up the forehead. And I'm really just focusing the shade up in a diagonal direction and a little bit on the temples to really bring the face in. And then for a little bit of warmth, I'm going to be going into this one in Caramel Toffee. And getting it right here on the top of the forehead where the sun would naturally hit. And then right here on the nose, and then the top of the cheek. And right over the bridge of the nose, bringing it down. Like once I get into like bronzer, blush, and highlight, that is my favorite part of doing my makeup. It's just getting the skin looking really pretty. Like foundation's cool, you're making it look so much better, but then when I put the bronzer, the blush, and the highlight, it just makes it all look so good. And for blush, I'm gonna go in with something a little bit subtle, a little bit more glowy because we are going into the E.L.F. JKissa palette, which is all color. So I'm just gonna throw in a little bit of the Milani Luminoso blush. And because with how glowy this blush is, we really don't want to drag it too low. We want to keep it really concentrated right here and then blending it out. So I did want to bring the blush in, but I am going to put a little bit of powder just to kind of tame the shine right here in the middle. So I'm just making sure I get none of the shine where I get really oily and where I have the most pores, because that's where we don't want to exaggerate. So before we go into highlight, actually, yeah, we're gonna highlight last. We're gonna go into the eyeshadow next, and I'm super excited to use this palette. I've already decorated with the stickers it came with. So I'm just gonna go ahead and throw in this eyeshadow primer so we can try with those brighter shades. And I'm just gonna blend it out with my sponge. This is pretty much the fastest way to do it. So I love the way she set this up. Like if you really don't have an idea of what you want to do with this, or color kind of intimidates you, you can use the top row for your crease, the middle row for depth and dimension, and then pop this on the lid. So the first two rows are completely matte and the last row is going to be all shimmer. Okay. Who is he barking at? So I'm torn between going orange or yellow. I'm thinking I'm gonna do the orange. First shade I'm gonna be going into is this one in Millie. It is the top shade of the orange row. I'm gonna take a dense blending brush and pick that up. So I am getting some kick up, but not too much. And I'm not going to tap off the extra. I'm just going to kind of press it into my crease to build that color up. So I just kind of pressed that into the crease, and I'm gonna go ahead and take a blending brush, a smaller blending brush, and start blending that out. So because of how gripping that eyeshadow primer is, I am having to take a little bit on the blending brush and just kind of scratching the edge of this to really blend it out. Alright, so this one I did take a little bit too much and I blended it. I'm going to take my single shade. This is the Wet n Wild Single in Brulee. And I'm just going to take that over the edges to really make sure that it's blended out really well. And then going back to the edge and really blending everything together. And then right for the outer corner for depth, I'm going to go in with Zuma. And I'm just going to press this into the outer corner and blending it into the crease. This shade kind of reminds me of Cheetos. Now, I don't like original Cheetos, like the cheesy ones. They kind of just taste salty and gross to me. But hot Cheetos, I love me some hot Cheetos. But I'm trying not to eat so much junk food nowadays. And also, they hurt my stomach, so I just try to go easy on those. And then for the lid, I'm gonna lay down a little bit more primer, just so this shimmer really has something to stick to. And then for the lid, we're just gonna go another one down, and we're gonna go into this one in Suki. This shade is so pretty. It's definitely not orange. It does have like more of like a peachy base to it, and then a ton of silver sparkles, and that is so pretty. This kind of reminds me of what is it? It's kind of like what is that called? Fenty has this one product that I use as an eyeshadow topper all the time. I think it's the Diamond Balm and How Many Carats, and that I use an eyeshadow topper all the time. It makes it super sparkly, super pretty, and it makes it really wet looking. And this gives you such a similar effect to that. Popping this on the other side. And I do think because it has more of like that peachy base, you can't actually use this with like more neutral looks if you don't want to do like a straight up orange Cheeto eyeshadow look, which I don't understand why you wouldn't. So when I personally do my eyeshadow on my eye shape, I do have to go a little bit more round and out, because when I relax my face, it kind of just squish a little bit. So not all of that is shown. Now for my lower lash line, I am going to take this middle shade in Zuma. And then with a more precise brush, I am going to concentrate that same shade closer to the lash line. And if you don't like that super blown out look, you can just go in with like a pencil brush and really keep it close to your lash line. Right, now I'm gonna go in with this highlight. This is the Laura Geller Baked Gelato Swirl Illuminator. These used to be sold at Ulta. Now you can't find this at Ulta anymore. They do still have this on the Laura Geller website if you go onto their brand website. This is in the shade Peach Glow. And I'm just gonna go ahead and pop this on and just really keep it on the outside of my face. Just a little bit on the top of the forehead, the nose, and then we're going to take a little bit on a brush and go right underneath the brow bone and in the inner corner. I have such a sharp cupid's bow that sometimes putting highlight on it makes it a little too intense. For mascara, I'm still using the CoverGirl Exhibitionist mascara. I'm not really seeing too much of a difference in it. It probably still needs a week or two to dry down. So it's still pretty wet, it's still not giving me that volume that I want, but we're gonna work with it. We're gonna keep using it. We're gonna give her a chance. I'm gonna go ahead and blot off a little bit of that lip balm that we had on. I'm gonna go in with the Milani lip liner in Spice. This is my all-time favorite lip liner at the moment. It used to be Brink, but like I said, when they discontinued it, so I thought, I stopped using it because I was sad. Now I really love this one. the same brush that we cleaned our brows with, I'm just gonna go along the edge of my lower lip. Just to make sure that that's really cleaned up. And I do this almost every time, I just don't really show it. But for the sake of this video, I'll show it. And then for lipstick, I'm gonna be using my NARS lipstick, and this is in the shade Toled. And this is a satin finish, so I'm just gonna focus this shade in the middle. And I'm gonna go ahead and throw in a little bit of my Fenty Gloss Balm. This is the shade Fenty Glow. Now I know I said the ColourPop ones are just as good as these, but if you want to try the Fenty glosses, I do always recommend finding a set. Now she does always have like little sets with mini ones, and I don't really go through lip products like that. So having little mini sizes of my lip products, I really don't mind having tiny versions because I have so many of them. Like all of that is most of my lip products here, but still in this drawer I have more lip products that I probably won't go through. Having mini sizes doesn't really bother me because like I said, I don't go through them that often. Like I got this one I think with a bronzer, and then I did get fussy with the How Many Carats Diamond Balm. It is getting cloudy, guys. It's about to rain really bad. Alright guys, and that is today's look. I did really enjoy using this E.L.F. JKissa palette. I can't wait to use more of it. I think E.L.F. does have one of the best eyeshadow formulas in the drugstore, so having really bright colors at a really affordable price is really nice. This palette does retail at $20. It is available at Ulta, and that is where I did pick mine up. Now I am thinking about picking up the brush set that came with it and also the duo liquid eyeshadows. At the moment I just have this, and honestly I want the rest of the collection. So go ahead and follow my Instagram to see more looks. I'll definitely post more looks using this palette on there. All right, let me wrap this up because my lighting is pretty much shot and it's getting so dark and so windy outside. Go ahead and like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of these kinds of videos and see me play with makeup, go ahead and subscribe. I upload every single Friday. Go ahead and follow me on my socials at Corina MUA on Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. Like, it is crazy outside right now. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.